Okay, so let's tackle our first deliverable. This is our schema, and our first deliverable will be make plant category relationship a many-to-many. Now, I actually introduced a new rake task. You'll see here adding model. Remind me about adding model. So let's look at that. So the first step that we are said and we are told is draw the domain model out and see all the relationships, identify the joiner. And so let me bring the O up. Oh my, 1 second. Here. So this is going to be our now domain model. Maybe I will just clean it up a little bit. Okay. So we'll have category. Category will have many plant categories, and plant will have many plant categories, right? And so because plant category is a joiner, and you see that because because plant and category are latching onto the plant category, right? You need to remember to add the IDs of two other models that are latching onto it, right? So category ID, and the other one will be plant ID. So this is what we are building right now. Cool. So now the second step is write migrations, create a new table, and if need be, add columns to the other ones, and then run migrations and check schema if it's correct. Okay, so rakedb create migration, name, add, create plant categories. So if my command worked, I see that I have a new file here, and so I will just create table plant categories, do t.integer. It is an integer because we are just providing two foreign keys. So a foreign key is an integer. Category ID, and then t.integer plant ID. Okay, so now let's migrate and let's see whether this works. Rakedb migrate. And what happens? What's happening? Unexpected end. Remember about your ends. Okay. So now we see that it migrated, right? We see that we have a new model here with two attributes, both are integers because they are foreign keys. Now, plant ID also appears. Category ID also appears in plant, so we need to remove it from there because now, if you look here, plant does no longer belong to category. Now it's plant category that belongs to the plant, right? So because of that, we need to remove. And now, how to remove a column? It's really not difficult. Most probably you could be able to even guess it, but let's just Google that, right? Active record remove column. There you go. And you have remove column, users, hobby. That's it, right? It's as simple as this. Okay, so now first, in order to do that, what do we need to do? We need to create a migration. Okay, so rakedb create migration name equals drop category ID from plant, right? And so now a new file was created, and we can just paste what we found on the kind Stack Overflow, and we will do remove column from plants category ID. Okay, so now let's do rakedb migrate. We can also say that it is an integer, as far as I remember. We'll see. And it no longer is there, you see? Okay, now let's see what our next step is. in our README. So in the README, we see that we need to, the next step is, we've done this, and now we need to create a corresponding model. Now, models are singular. So let's do that. In the model, plant category, is that how it's called? I don't know. Let's see. I don't remember. So it's plant categories. Okay. For a second, I thought it would be category plant. Okay. Now this is without the RB. So let's introduce plant category.rb. And in here, we can just copy this, the class definition from another file. So here it's going to be plant category. You see, this is, I think this is called kebab case. Yeah. And so this is kebab case without, so you start with a capital letter, and then when there's a new word, there's also a capital letter, and you just match them together. However, notice that the name of the file is with an underscore. And so now let's look at our domain model. You see that plant category belongs to a plant. It's just one line, and it belongs to a category is just one line, right? So now let's do that. Belongs to plant, belongs to category. Now, we also need to do that on the other side of the equation, right? So on the plant has many plant categories, plural, has many categories through plants. And now we also can copy this to the other side of the equation, so on the category side. So has many plant categories and has many plants through plant categories. Oh, mistake here. Okay, cool. So now let's look at our README, and we added associations, and now we need to test in seeds, right? So now let's go to our seed file. And in the seeds file, we don't have any categories here. How come? Let's just copy from here. Yeah, that's better. I'm copying from. Oh, maybe I was just in the wrong folder altogether. Okay, let's open the correct one. So I'm going to my seeds file. Okay, cool. Okay, so now in here, you see I'm creating, let's just make this maybe. Okay, so in here, you see, first I'm creating categories. Also, let's just do, let's introduce it here. Now plants no longer belong to, right? Plants now only have many. So I'm pushing them towards the end. Wait, then they should be towards the beginning. Okay, sorry. Right? Because the thing is that if you want to delete plant, then no longer the plant category will be able to exist, right? Because it depends on the plant. So this will be more more valuable in Rails that actually has safeguards against deleting stuff that is tied together. But yeah, okay, so now we have plant category and plant category. So we are creating categories, and now we are creating plants, and maybe we also want to, maybe there should be more categories. So because of the fact that I will be also assigning the categories, maybe let's just instead of doing it this way, we can just write outdoor category create outdoor, indoor category create indoor, leafy category recreate leafy, and then succulent, and it's also going to be this. Okay, so now we have the categories, right? And so we can also, we no longer will be having the category ID on the plant, right? So now what we'll have, we will, I need to delete it from here. So that's what I'm going to do. Does it work? Yes, it works. Okay. And so now I am just creating the plant, and after each plant, maybe I should add some categories, right? So what I could do, I could, in order to speed up my work, this is just for tests, I could do something like, I'm thinking. Okay, I could do categories. I could do category.all.sample. Maybe, then I don't want it to be confusing. Okay, for people who will be following. Okay, so let's just do plant category create, and then plant ID, and this is going to be basil, basil.id, and then outdoor category ID, outdoor.id, right? And so let me do the same for basil again, and it's going to be indoor, and it's also going to be leafy. Right, and so I'll also add another plant category, maybe to corn tree. It's the same, and maybe also one category to this, to some cactus. So for example, here it can be indoor, it can be, maybe let's just change this to corn tree, and now cactus 2, let's just change this to this, and it is a succulent. Okay, and so now if this works, I should be able to run break dbseed. And maybe it worked. So now let's do break console. And what I want to check is I want to see whether I am able, first of all, to see plant categories. So let's do plant category.all. You see that they exist, right? I can also do count. I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? I should have 9 of them. So let's see, it's 9, great. But that's one thing that I want to check. Then the other thing that I want to check is I want to see plant.first, that's going to be basil, right? Basil. So you see that it's basil. And now basil.categories. I want to check whether I am able to check from the plant place. This is no longer true. So from the plant side, whether I am able to reach the categories associated with it. So let's see, and it works. So now let's check category.first. So I'm checking now from the other side, and that's going to be plants. And you see that it does have a few plants. Yay, we did it. Awesome.